Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's doing fabulous on this Saturday. As you can see, I'm in the kitchen getting ready to cook up a quick meal. We are getting ready to shoot our podcast today, and typically when we shoot the podcast, it's kind of later in the evenings on the Saturdays that we choose. So I will, go ahead and make dinner for everyone. So it's going to be a quick one today. We're having stuffed bell peppers. You can see I got my bell peppers there. I've got pretty much all the colors. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't used to do all of the colors with the bell peppers, particularly stuffing them. But I saw a couple of people using all of the colors. And I said to myself, I'm going to try that today. And so you see I've got the green, the yellow, the red, and the orange. And I'm making probably about 6 or 7 stuffed bell peppers. And then all of my ingredients you see I have here. Nothing fancy, just really simple. Don't want it heavy on the salt and seasoning. So I'm just going with a simple season all and black pepper. Using the black pepper. And then we're going to add in some tomato paste and some crushed tomatoes. I'm going to do about half of this onion, dice it up. After all of the meat has cooked, I'm actually using ground turkey today instead of beef. So, when you're cooking with ground turkey, there's not a whole lot of fat, so not a whole lot of straining and draining to do, maybe just a little bit, but not much. And then we're going to top it off with some cheese. I'm using the Mexican style blend as well as some sharp cheddar. I want it nice and cheesy and crusty on the top. Okay, so once we get everything prepped, I'll put these bad boys in the oven to cook for about 30 minutes and then let you guys see the finished product and have everyone do a taste test. But I've already taken care of the rice. You see there, that's the rice that's going to be added in. And then here's the ground turkey. So we're going to let all of that cook up. And once it's all done, I'll come back and show you how I get everything stuffed into the peppers, all right? But I just want to show you all of the ingredients. Nice, quick, easy, great tasting meal for today's podcast. All right, and we'll be back when everything is ready. All right, so we are back, and I have sauteed off the meat, as you can see. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is about a pound of ground turkey. That's what I'm using today, about a pound of ground turkey. The rice here, that's about 2.5 cups of rice. Probably won't use all of that rice, but I went on and cooked 2.5 cups just to make sure that I had enough. So the next thing is to add my onions into the meat. And you see I've diced those up already. Get this fire back on this pot here because we've got to let our paste and tomatoes simmer into the mix. All right, so we're going to get that mixed in there. I love onions, y'all. I love the way they taste, the flavor, the smell, all of it. So that's why I did at least half of a whole onion. And that onion wasn't that big. It was kind of small, but this is enough for this meat that I have here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is put the tomato paste in there so it can start cooking down. Get that all in there. Oh, and I wanted to add that when I showed you the seasonings that I did, which was the seasonal and black pepper, I did decide to add in some garlic salt, which was perfect because it set it right on off with the seasoning. Not too much, just right. You know, I didn't want to do all this Italian seasoning and all that. Just a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper seasoning. And so I went with the seasonal and the garlic salt and the pepper, the black pepper. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to now add in the crushed tomatoes. Not going to strain that or anything. Just put them in there just like that. Some people like to use stewed tomatoes. I typically do use the stewed tomatoes, but I figured I would go with the crushed just to give it an all around mixed in tomatoey taste this time. Okay, so I'm going to let that cook up a bit. Let me just add just a wee bit of liquid, because again, I'm not using beef, which carries a lot of fat. This is turkey, and sometimes it needs just a little bit of help. All right, so we're going to let this cook up into the meat here for just a minute, and then I'm going to also go ahead and add in my rice. Now, I may need to add just a little bit more moisture in this, but I'll see once I get the rice added in here. Give me a sec, and I'll get that added in. All right. We want to be safe. And as y'all can see, I'm not using any gloves because I'm cooking for family. You know, I'm cooking for me and family. So I don't put no gloves on. But I do state that if you're cooking for more than just you and family, yeah, put some gloves on. It's cool to do that. All right. So let me go ahead and get this rice added in. Here we go. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is probably way more than what I've prepped for those few bell peppers that I'm doing, but that's okay. I can always put those in that mixture in the freezer or in the refrigerator and use it for something else. So let me go ahead and get this rice mixed in. And if you want just a bit of a spice to it, you can always dice up some jalapeno. I didn't do that today because I've got a little one that's going to be eating this. She loves rice, and she's going to enjoy this rice tomatoey meaty mixture here. So I didn't put that hot in there, so because of her. But if you're one that really want to spice it up a bit, feel free to put some jalapeno or whatever pepper you might want to spice that up with. I'm just putting a little bit more liquid in there because it was a little bit dry. I think that's going to do it right there. And I'm just going to let this simmer for a while. Probably about 15 minutes, I'll let this simmer up real good. Mix in, let all that tomatoey goodness mix in with the turkey and the onions. And then after that, we're going to come back and I'll show you how I put it inside the bell peppers. I've also preheated the oven to 400 degrees. You just heard it go off. Oven is preheated to 400 degrees. I want it to go ahead and get that nice and hot. And so that when I do pour this into the bell peppers, I can have the oven ready. And then we'll put it in there with the cheese on it for about 30 minutes. But over here are the bell peppers. You see I've already cut them open, cored them. Now a lot of times when you got these odd shaped peppers, sometimes it may be good to cut the bottom off so that it'll sit down real nicely in the pan. I didn't have to do that with these because they are sitting real good in there without me having to cut that bottom off. so I can be able to put all the filling in there and it stays inside the pepper. Now, one other thing I want to share with you is that normally when I would do stuffed bell peppers, I would steam the pepper in some water before stuffing it. This time I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to actually not steam it in water. I'm putting them on top of foil so that they don't stick. On the foil, I just rub just a light coat of olive oil, which on the sides and the bottom. Now, what that's going to do is help to brown the peppers all the way around. Because when I stuff the peppers with the mixture, put the filling in there, I'm going to put a layer of foil on top and then put it in the oven for 30 minutes. And that's going to make those bell peppers nice and tender and done, okay? But we'll be back once the filling has cooked for about 15 minutes. We'll be back. And y'all, it's hot up in here. You know, I'm not this chefy type person. I cook like my mom showed me how to cook, which is real countrified. I don't do all this measuring and all this recipe stuff. I just kind of go with the feel of it. But I know this is going to be good, especially when that cheese is thrown on top of it. Okay? But yeah, we'll let that cook up just for a minute, about 15 minutes. And after that, I'll bring you back and show you how I'm going to put that filling inside the peppers, sprinkle the cheese over it. Like I said, we're using a Mexican style blend and then a sharp cheddar that we'll put on top of that, put it in the oven, let it cook, and then I'll cover it with foil, let it cook for about 30 minutes, then uncover it and then put the cheese on it, put it back in the oven and let it cook for about like 15 more minutes. All right? Pardon my sweating, y'all. It's hot in this kitchen, isn't it, Mr. Ralph? Okay? All right. So there we go. We'll be back at y'all in just a moment. All right, so we're back. And now it's time to put the filling inside of the bell peppers. We've had this simmer up real good, mix in, it tastes great. I had Mr. Ralph taste it, he said it's really good. The only adjustment we had to make was put some more liquid in it. Like I said, turkey is dry because it doesn't have a whole lot of fat in it. So had to put a little more liquid in it, but we are at a very good consistency right now, as you can see. And now it's time to fill the peppers. So that's what we're getting ready to do. All right, so we're going to drop that in there like so. Get them all filled up real good. And yes, I'm going to have plenty of leftover, but that's okay. Enough to do another round of peppers. But we're just doing these for now. All right. Get them filled up real good. And like I said, I had Mr. Ralph taste it. He said the seasoning is perfect. Not too salty, not over seasoned. You can taste the garlic in it, the salt, the pepper. That's all we want. Okay. So let's get these bad boys filled up real good. Come on in and get a good shot of me filling up these peppers here. Yeah, that juicy goodness going inside. So when I cut the tops off, I just want y'all to know I recycle those. I put them in my compost bin. Some folks dice up those heads or bottoms and mix it in with the filling. I didn't want to do that today, but they will go into my compost bin. The seeds in particular. So I probably have bell peppers sprouting up all over the place when I put my compost out there around in my garden. But yeah, we're almost there, y'all, getting them filled in. Getting that juicy turkey and tomato and onion goodness up in there. I thought I was going to have a whole lot left, but I won't. I kind of eyeballed that really good. All right. Yep, there we go. Just a wee bit more. And now, to top it off with the cheese. Again, we're using the sharp cheddar and the Mexican style blend. So let's go ahead and get that put on top. We'll put the Mexican style blend first, and then we'll put a little bit of cheddar. Actually, what I'm going to do is put this first and then let it cook for a little while in the oven, about 30 minutes, then with the foil on top. Then I'm going to take it out, uncover it with the foil, and then put the cheddar on top and let it go for about 10 minutes or so, just to give it that crusty, cheesy goodness. All right? Because that's what makes the magic happen. That makes the magic happen, is that cheesy goodness right there. Okay? So let's do that. And we're going to save the sharp cheddar for the final round, which is putting it in there uncovered with the foil. But right now I'm going to cover it with some foil just so that the bell peppers can steam up really good. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that covered right there. And then we're going to put it in the oven for approximately 30 minutes. And again, the oven was preheated at 400 degrees. All right, let's get this in there. Get her in there and let her cook up for about 30 minutes. After that, we will bring you back and show you how we're going to uncover it with the foil, put our sharp cheddar on top, put it back in the oven for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, so that that cheese can crust over on top of the bell peppers, and then we'll show you a taste test after that. All right? We'll be right back at you. Okay, we have the final product. There it is. My sister's getting ready to dig in. She, of course, is going to get the only red bell pepper there was. And then she's going to do a taste test. And we want to know what her tastes like. There y'all go with the cheese melted and crusty on top. All right. Let's see what you got. Yeah, nice and yummy inside with
pepper, nice and tender.
Yeah, it is tender. And I was telling them I typically will boil them, but I didn't this time. I just put foil on the top and let that steam from the oven cook the pepper.
Blow it 'cause it's hot.
Okay, let's see what she say, y'all.
It smells very good.
Okay. And I didn't do a whole overpowering of seasoning. Just a little garlic, just a little seasonal, just a little pepper, then the tomatoes and the paste. Yeah. So what it be like? There y'all go. Stuffed bell peppers.
Very good.
All right. So that's the finished product. Let me take you back over here to see the rest of it, and everybody else is getting ready to dig in. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out, checking out my little cooking skills. Like I said, I'm not the chef. I just cook, okay? And I'm happy to share this with you all. All right? But thank you so much again for stopping by. This is Sunday 7 with AN-T-NEES. These are the Honky Tonk Chronicles. Thumb it up. Subscribe if you haven't, and share it with your friends. All right, we out.